My name is Clive Percival, and I'm making this deputation on behalf of the Funtley Village Society, of which I am a member, having been a Funtley resident for some 16 years. Whether that makes me a newbie or not, I'm not quite sure. The reason the Funtley Village Society is represented here today is not to pursue some self-serving agenda, but to act as a voice for the majority of the residents of Funtley. If they hadn't voted for a parish council, we wouldn't be here. I shall address the issue of parish council in two parts, under the headings that I've called process and principle. Under the term process, I should like to address the benefits of a parish council over other possible forms of local representation and correct any misapprehensions that may exist as to their powers and sources of finance. You will all have received a considerable weight of literature and communication on this subject, but I'm aware of how busy you are and will praise you the key issues relating to the subject. I'll begin with a quotation from a letter which you should all have received copies of, from Professor Colin Copus, who heads the Local Government Research Unit in the Department of Politics and Public Policy at De Montfort University. And he says it better than I probably could. A parish and town council, as a statutory body, provides a degree of cohesion and certainty to communities and to community action that cannot be provided by voluntary organisations alone. Indeed, a parish council, with its electoral mandate, or using its position of authority, can legitimately stimulate community action, bring communities together, provide a channel for communities into other elected and non-elected bodies, and act as the centre of community activity. Non-statutory bodies and voluntary organisations, while having a valuable role to play in communities, cannot act with the authority of a parish council. A parish council provides the principal authority with a single and legitimised point of contact and a body through which it can explore how to encourage, facilitate and sustain community engagement with both the parish and the borough council to mutual benefit. Moreover, parish councils can actively stimulate greater public engagement with local democracy and local decision making and provide extended opportunities for citizens to take up public office. Thus, a parish council for Funtley will fulfil a vital role in enhancing and improving local engagement and local democracy and should therefore be welcomed. It's not our intention that a parish council should form a separate focus of power and authority in competition with the borough council. On the contrary, the parish council would provide a cooperative bridge between the community and the borough to the benefit of both. Because it has an electoral mandate, a parish council is able to raise funds for the benefit of the parish from a number of sources, such as, but not limited to, the National Lottery, the small grant schemes and various other sources. The key here is the electoral mandate. It has been suggested that a parish meeting might provide an acceptable alternative, but again such an arrangement would lack the ability to raise funds for community projects from all the sources that might be available to a parish council. Not to mention the fact that such an option was never put to the community as part of the community governance review and is therefore not being considered by the community in that context. The same reservation exists concerning the proposal in your own Democratic Services Department report that the Funtley Village Society, acting in concert with local ward councillors, would provide for the desired community cohesion. We repudiate this proposition on the same grounds that I've already described. The precept. True, it is uncapped and open to increase where the benefits are clearly apparent and supported by the community. It has been the experience of many small communities that increases have been approved when the value attached to the increase has been recognised. On the other hand, increases are not inevitable, and having a good parish clerk is like having a good accountant. That person should provide benefits in excess of their cost. I'll now turn to my second heading that I've called principle. And the principle in question, of course, is democracy. It has been pointed out in your report, no doubt accurately, that the Community Governance Review was a consultation, not a referendum or an election. However, whatever it was called, it was without doubt a measurement of community opinion. And where that measure produces a clear majority in favour of a parish council, natural justice requires a presumption in favour of implementation of that desired outcome unless there is an overriding necessity to set it aside. If such an overriding necessity exists in this case, we are yet to be informed of it. Contained within your report are some statistics arising from the consultation which I should like to compare with certain other figures that I feel are relevant. The funded response ratio, equivalent to the turnout in electoral terms, was 40.7%. At the 2016 local election, Fareham North Ward, the turnout was 41%, a difference of 0.3. The share of the vote in favour of a parish council of those who responded, 74.5%. The share of the vote for the Fareham North Ward in the local election was 51.2%. In terms of the percentage of the potential electorate, the majority for, well, the vote in favour of a parish council was 30.27% of all possible electors. The result for the Fareham North Ward local election on the same criteria was 20.8%. So wouldn't our local ward council like to have a mandate the size of that for Funtley Parish Council? Nevertheless, I'm not here to throw stones at our councillors, with whom we enjoy and I hope will continue to enjoy a cordial and collaborative relationship. However, the crux of our argument is that what is a valid result for the election of our councillors must be equally valid when it comes to support for a parish council in Funtley. Not much weight seems to have been given to the views and concerns of those who voted for the losing candidates of the local elections, so why is so much weight placed on those of the dissenters in the Funtley consultation? It is a fundamental tenet of democratic government that the views of the majority shall prevail. Imagine the outcry if the Remain sympathisers in Parliament had decided that Brexit did not carry a high enough majority and that the referendum result should be set aside in the interests of the minority. In conclusion, I urge you all to consider your responsibility to deliver democratic government to Fareham and its constituent wards and communities. This is well summed up in the last line of a recent letter from our new Prime Minister, Theresa May. Because we're going to give people more control over their lives, that's how together we will build a better Britain. The people of Funtley have expressed their wish for a future in which they have a greater say in their local governance and an opportunity to access funds which will enable the realisation of more projects and facilities for their village. As a matter of democratic principle, as well as practical community politics, I urge you to vote in favour of a Funtley Parish Council. Simply put, vote for democracy. Thank you very much for your attention.